Welcome back for another yummy update, friends. So we are moving on through this crypto weekend, and BTC at $122,000 is giving everybody a bit of concerning thoughts, especially as the total crypto market cap hits 4 trillion. And everyone's concerned. Why? Because we are exactly at the 4-year cycle symmetry point right here. We are exactly at the moment. This is October the 5th, and I've shown you from before, if you go back and you do exactly 1,064 days from previous cycles, bottom to the top, you get the actual top price. Here you go, 1,064 days, friends. You measure it from the bottom, you go to the top, you notice, look at this, 1,064 days. Okay, that's what's happened in the past. I think it's happened, yeah, it's happened twice. Okay, so now this is actually the bottom was here. So yeah, 1,064 days, bang, there you go again. That was pretty much it, okay? So that's why now everyone's doing this magical 1,064 day thing here now. And they go, well, if we do 1,064 days from when FTX goes, we are literally, yeah, pretty much the 6th of October. Here we are. And obviously everyone's concerned because blockchain backer, who's known as a contrarian, right? He's sold 50% of his entire crypto portfolio. Literally huge amount, huge. In his mind, he goes, he's full-blown bearish if it's 65%. But in my mind, we'll play some Pumpy G music for us all. Yeah, if, you know, selling 50% here, you know, that's... Friends, here's the thing, man, because you got to understand, okay, you probably watch a lot of these people, and you say, oh, but they're smart and they're all intelligent. Yeah, friends, you understand. Markets, it has the smartest people in the world. It's not about the smarts. Markets are just about crowds. That's what they're about. Okay? Like, friends, on a football field, you can be like really smart. You can. But it doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to be able to solve how to crack through a defense or how to stop goals. Okay? So with markets, when everybody, doesn't matter how smart they are, when everyone is stacked on one side, that means the currency units, so the coins in their wallets, they have now spent them. And so the price you see on the market, it might be high, but you got to ignore that price. You just look at the sentiment. You go, wait, everyone's in. There's a lot of people that are looking at this, a lot, you know, but your instincts are trying to kill you in markets because your instincts, you're following everybody in real life. Like, for example, friends, if we were out in, say, caveman days, right, and then you see, let's say we're with like let's say there's like 7 cave dudes and cave girls, and you see them drinking water from a pond, right, okay, you're probably going to think it's safe. Yeah? That's why in markets, it makes no sense to do what we do here, evolutionary, with an evolutionary standpoint. Because if you see like, hey, I'm hungry and I'm thirsty and I'm really thirsty right now, and I'm seeing 7 people drink from one pond water. Imagine you go, ha, fade the crowd, baby. You're literally, you will die. Okay, and people, we're programmed to think, oh, there's 7 people doing this, you know, they're drinking water from the pond. Okay, I can drink water from the pond. Because if it'd be bad, they'd all be dead. Okay, that's why in markets, we get this FOMO when things are missing out. Like, oh, I'm missing out. Do you know what I mean? Imagine you're like dying of thirst. Oh, I've got fear. I'm going to die. But markets, you got to flip it on its head. That's why no one's programmed for it. That's why you don't start with a baseline of 100 IQ in markets. Everyone's like at 70. Everything you do is trying to kill you. Everything. So the crowd right now, friends, the crowd, you listen to everybody. They're already selling here. They're literally already selling here. BCB's out 50%. They're selling here, friends. Everyone expects, look, what everyone really expects is long. They think we're going to get this. They think 250K and then down only. They always think that. Always the bears, friends. Always the bears. They always think that. But, you know, it is what it is. We could get that. I just don't think we're going to get that personally. The crowd expects 2026 to be bearish. Man, it's a year of the snake as well. I keep saying that, man. It's a year of the snake. Snakes shed their skin. It's like, you know, it's a nice metaphor, shedding off the non-believers, right? Remember, friends, I've been telling you literally, man, I can't believe it's been like 5-6 months. I've been saying, guys, we got to admit there's one last round of Jeets left. It is the 4-year cycle Jeets. It's the people who have nothing else to lean on. They go, before you cycle, and their brains are just going to go, oh, but this worked 3 out of 3 times before, because it did, but now it's not. But that's why, friends, thank you to Mr. Raoul Powell. We investigated why the 4-year cycle actually worked. It's because the government bonds were 4 years. It's a 4-year government debt rollover. It's timing with the business cycle every 4 years. That's why. But now they've done a 5-year bond. In 2021, because rates were 0, Joe Biden, the administration, they go, well, let's lock for 5 years. Let's not do 4 years because the interest rates are so low anyway. Let's spend even more money because, you know, we've got zombie virus stuff. We've got to get everything back on track. So we did a 5-year bond duration. And here we are. They're coming to the end of it. But yeah, that's why it's been. They haven't rolled over the debt yet. They're like letting it tick off, right? So, but here's the thing. It's not just one bond they do. It's an average of durations. So some of the bombs have already been coming through. I don't even know what they're doing right now. They have meant to have done something by like June. Maybe they've rolled over short term or something. I forgot. Okay, so that's where it leads us all. I just want to show you this as well, friends, because this is pretty much, this is like the most, we're at the critical point, the point of inflection right now. But like on the main, alongside all these, friends, we have AI powering the economy. And we're in like that middle 1990s vibe where the technology internet, it's like making its way. AI is not perfect. They're like, oh, AI doesn't do this and it doesn't do that. Like, dude, just chill out, dude. Don't think about what it does today. Oh, yeah, you can tell if a video is being made by AI. You have no idea what the hell you're talking about, dude. Just, you understand, this thing is an amazing miracle from 5 years ago. Just think about what 5 years from now is going to do. Imagine writing off the internet because email looked complicated and clunky back in 1999. Now email is like, you know, that was like became revolutionary, friends. You know, people connecting all over the world. And now you can literally send. Just think about how powerful email is for. Like, you know, think about, you watch Candace Owens. She's receiving tips about Charlie Kirk's ass in, right? Just show you all this information sharing all around the world. All right, we're literally just it's groundbreaking. You know, we take it for granted now because we just live in a digital realm. So blockchain backup, friends, selling 4 years on the 4-year cycle. Yeah, it is what it is. And by the way, you've already seen this from before as well, friends. You've seen other giants have sold as well. Remember, Ivan sold 33% here with Uncle Bobby, and then we just went up only. So that's what look, friends. I feel it's just gonna get to like every single person just getting out, and then it's just you and me together. We're like, you know what? Screw it. Send it to 0. I don't care. I don't care. Look, this is why I think we're generally just gonna keep going up. When I say I don't care if there's a 4-year bear market, I'm winning a round trip everything. Send it all negative. Send it all negative. I don't care. Usher in the next Great Depression. I don't give a crap. The fact that I say that, and I'm like the only voice saying that, that tells you we're going up, friends. We're gonna have a cracker 2026. That's what it tells me. I'm still willing to wait. Okay. When I say that, there will be a point where I say this and everyone's saying it. Okay, now you know we're in a different area. We've got a lot more people who have now bought in. Remember, friends, the bull market ends when you run out of buyers. Okay? The bull market ends when you run out of buyers. That's why I always put this quote here for you. The bull market, it's born on depression, they grow on skepticism, and then they die on euphoria. Okay, why do people get euphoric after they buy? It's because you make the decision, you go, I'm investing this because I think the upside, say 5x. So I've put 50K in, it's gonna turn into 250, right? Yes, okay, cool. And then you get the dopamine hit right then. You're speculating on it hitting, and the crowd all does it at the same time. That's what happens, right? That's what happened in 2021. People mortgaged their homes to buy Bitcoin at 50K, thinking of 100K. Okay, but you front run the dopamine immediately when you get in. That's what happens. That's why we'll call it euphoria. Right now, everyone's still skeptical and they're jeeting out the 4-year cycle. So here is the cute SpongeBob with a lollipop, right? I also have a lollipop. You know, yeah, friends, these games are tough. I know these games are tough, but I'm still holding, man. I'm still like, is it? You know, they're gonna look back at us and go, "Oh, all you had to do was like literally just not sell." Yeah, but you know, easier said than done. Look at this comment. I didn't get through this comment in Juicy News, all of it, but I just want to read this for you. This is a blockchain backer. One of his comment, the first comment, this guy said this is the highest voted. Okay, he says, blockchain backup, bro, I'm confused. I've been a loyal follower since early 2022, and I bought both of your courses. So this isn't coming from one of your Twitter haters. But why are you making a big deal of the exact number of days for your cycle, counting from November 2021? After you spent years making a very compelling argument that the peak happened instead of November 2021, May 2021. So what he's basically saying is, he goes, well, the retail alt season euphoria was really in Dogecoin mania. This for 90% of altcoins was a lower high. So most coins did that chart by this point of time. Okay, this was like the second. That's why 2021 ruined everyone, because it was the first time alt season wave 2 was only 10% of the size of the first alt season wave, and everything went to zero. That never happened before. In the 2 times before that, alt season wave 2 was bigger and better. Okay, so his fan continues. He says, yes, there are definitely other concerning things in this market, and I get why you're making a defensive play in general. He goes, but shouldn't you do the exact number of days since November 2021 is considered entirely irrelevant? He goes, I can't figure out how you reconcile it. Can you please explain it? So this 5 fans is breaking my heart a bit, because you're like, welcome to the school of hard knocks. You just get to see, friends, there's contradictions everywhere, man. Friends, literally, what I mean by that is, friends, in markets and trading, you can never be 100% fixated, because there's no formula. Okay, like there is no formula. It's kind of like a football player. Like, you can't always only kick with your right foot, even though you're right-footed. You can't always only kick with that. There's some situations you have to kick with your front foot. You might even have to heel the ball. You have to use your head. You have to, man. That's it. Well, so mate, you want to be the best? Okay, you want to be great? That's what happens, So that's why they're learning. They're like, hey, how come you're changing the rules now? Because he's like watching someone who's like respected every day, keeping him along. He's like, oh, but you're going against kind of like what you've been showing before. Like, you're breaking your own rules, kind of. Yeah, but friends, you got to understand, doesn't mean these things always work, but BCB and all these other KOLs, I guess, who've been able to do this, it's rare. But when they break the rules, it usually turns out good. It's just, it doesn't always turn out. It's just, now you have to think, are you breaking the rule now or what? You even have other comments in this comment section. Doesn't a top usually end in euphoria first? And then this person talking about his XRP price. Yeah, now like XRP hitting around $3, it's still down 90% from its all-time high in Bitcoin. Yeah, so I know, like, I can't give any guarantees, okay? It's just like, you can't say to all your family, hey, I followed a guy who pegs his own nipples on the internet wearing a Pikachu hat, calls me a baby doll literally every 15 seconds, and then we all went to zero. It's just, you know what I mean? You have to wrestle that with yourself. It's just me. I think, friends, you've seen this. Friend, literally, Peter went to zero. You actually watched me lose my soul in real time. And I was like, you know what? I've got to buy more. Like, you understand after, like, you got to understand. It's not what you think, man. But if you want the glorious big moves, this is what it comes down to. So if we do have a nice year of the horsey and we're looking back at these moments, you remember end of 2025, right? You remember this time. You'd be like, man, everyone said it was over. But man, friends, some things just give you hope. Like I've shown you as well. I show you this business cycle all the time, man. I'm like, bro, no one's buying yet. They're not buying. They can barely fill up gas in their car. They can barely pay for insurance. They can barely afford electricity bills. That's what they're doing. They're not buying the hair shampoo. They're not buying the cardboard boxes. They're not buying that yet, bro. Bull markets end when they start buying the cardboard boxes and the hair shampoo. But then, after everything's so good, then they start buying, whatever the next JPEGs are going to be. Something ridiculous. Because why do you do that? Because you're so confident about the future. That's what euphoria is. You're like, oh! Right? You're so confident. Wow, the next 5 years is going to be great. But it's kind of fun. More like the next 12 months is going to be amazing. That's why I just speculate as well. Something to do with AI, friends. Something to do with AI coming in here. Like, I don't know. I had like, just this, in my juicy news, I thought of this idea. Like, what if someone, they find a way, like ChatGPT make a little hardware box and you just put it in your room, and it could just blow your mind with stuff. Remember, friends, as well, like, the Palantir technology is a true black box, as in there's companies that don't know what it did, but they fed it how they hedged their financial statements, their bank accounts. They fed it all their employee information, all their wages, when they clock on and off, all the contracts of their lawyers and health department, everything in this company. And then Palantir chewed it all up, and then it spat out recommendations, and it turned the company from losing money to making money. Okay, and it told them how to hedge properly, the incorrect hedging they would like. You understand, man? Like, we haven't even seen that. Like, wait till we start getting AI to get a unicorn story where it actually turns a dead company into something alive to reinvigorate. You know what I mean? Because you gotta understand, there's gonna be an AI gold rush. Because if you got to use it first before your competitors do, because you're trying to get them, because it's going to get all the recommendations. They're going to give the other competitors recommendations. But we haven't started that yet. We haven't started it yet. That's why I sound so wild, man. But it's Year of the Snake as well. You know? Year of the Snake inside my pants. Like, subscribe, belly button, all. Catch you in the next one.